And right now there's some confrontation going on between the protesters and the National Guard. I'm going to step out of the frame here so you can see exactly what's happening. At this point, I would say that I'm fighting it a little bit as I walk. Now I want to bend down here because we are in an area where we have a hurricane warning and a storm surge warning. Hundreds of buildings on the island have been reduced to rubble. Thousands of people are living in tents because it's unsafe to return home. The devastation is hard to stomach. The owners tell me that a witness saw a man smashing the window with his elbow. That's when another person nearby began videoing the trail of blood. Students returning in person today are going to notice a few differences, like traffic control signs in the hallways and hand sanitizer stations set up all around the school. So you just asked me less than 5 minutes ago if those National Guardsmen and women have shown up yet. I'm going to step out of the frame so you can see they are making their way down Bay Street right now.
The reality is she's gone because of COVID-19.
Clementine Scott Clark celebrated her 65th birthday in March. Her daughter had her in a Virginia nursing home, a facility that soon became a breeding ground for COVID-19.
Her test came back positive, and my biggest fear at that point was, what do we do now? And what's going to happen?
After a couple of days in isolation, her mother was struggling to breathe, and Clark Webb was miles away.
That is when it's like my heart just dropped to my stomach, because when I got the call from the hospital and they said she coded out twice, and I'm like, oh my God, like really, I mean, what is happening? This is all happening too fast.
Doctors say her mother was losing brain activity, and machines were the only thing keeping her alive. Clark Webb and her brother were forced to make an end-of-life decision, and it all happened over a Zoom call.
The most disturbing part was not being able to be there to hold her hand. I had to have the nurse hold her hand for me.
With no closure, no kiss goodbye, and no family by her side, Scott Clark took her last breaths.
I just miss my mom. Not to hear her sing again, and not to have been able to celebrate her 65th birthday. That bothers me.
After losing her daughter in childbirth, Clark Webb knows pain, but she says nothing compares to this.
They're suggesting that you have them cremated or closed casket, and this is not what I would have dreamed up for her homegoing.
Alex Bozarjian, WSAV News 3 on your side.
I hate to say it is what it is, it's just, we were constrained.
Delays in court proceedings have left the family of Bruce Helmy in a holding pattern and waiting for justice. Helmy died on January 8th, shortly after being assaulted here at Basil's Bar on Wilmington Island. For 3 months, his family waited for his autopsy results.
He was drinking against doctors' orders. They were trying to basically say that it might have been due to the fact that he wasn't doing what he was supposed to do.
On April 4th, the Georgia Bureau of Investigations found Helmy died of head trauma, and his death was classified a homicide. Yet more than a month later, his attacker, 19-year-old Charles Teeple IV, was only facing misdemeanor battery.
There's a judicial stoppage by the Chief Justice of Georgia, so there's a lot of unfortunate factors that have played a part in some of the delays around this investigation specifically.
Chatham County Police Chief Jeff Hadley says Teeple is under court supervision, but because formal charges have yet to be filed against him, he's walking free.
How is that safe for other people? And of course, we want justice, but I mean, if in all reality, it's not. I can't understand how that is a wise decision.
I completely and 100% understand the feelings of the family. I certainly haven't talked to them personally, but those are things that are out of meaning the police department's control.
But Helmi's family may soon get the answers they've been waiting for. News 3 has learned the district attorney's office now plans to file murder, aggravated assault, and elderly abuse charges against Teeple. Alex Bozarjian, WSAV News 3 on your side.
I'm lost. I don't know.
Confusion and pain too severe to even put in words. Dot Durden is coming to terms with the thoughts of burying her friends. Vicki Hutchinson Gilder, her husband Tommy Gilder, her aunt Irma Jean Hutchinson, better known as Pug in the community, were playing cards in this shed Thursday afternoon when a fire broke out. Tommy Gilder and Pug Hutchinson died on the scene. Vicki Hutchinson Gilder died 3 days later.
I'm sure I'll get through with God's grace, you know. We've got to think about Vicky's nephew and Tommy's nephew and Pug's son.
Charles Hutchinson, Irma Hutchinson's only son, is still recovering at the Shands Burn Center in Gainesville. All of them members of the Shellman Bluff Baptist Church. A vigil was held in their honor on Friday.
You could tell at that time how they fit in the community, because the church was full and it was people that were not necessarily members of the church or even come to church or whatever. It was people that knew them, people that was in the community.
Faye Mixon says she and Pug were inseparable. Every Sunday they sat together in this back pew.
It was just literally unbelievable that this would happen to them. They were a fun family. They were close.
Mixon, like other community members, hope time will heal their pain.
We loved you here on earth, and we loved you where you are now. We know you're better there than what you'd have to go through if you're still here.
Speaking? No, I'm speaking with my friends. Racist.
You got upset, obviously.
Yeah, I wish I could have said a lot of things, but at that time I was like really mad and I couldn't like even speak.
It all started here around 10 p.m. Saturday night. SCAD sophomore Cristina Riofrio was grabbing a bite to eat with 3 of her friends. She says they were speaking Spanish, as they often do, when this man started yelling.
What did you do? Come on a boat. No, I did. I came in a boat. At least I can afford an airplane.
The 19-year-old was born in California. Her parents are from Ecuador.
Actually, one of my friends cried at that moment. I felt really bad for her, but I didn't want him to see us cry, see us weak, acting weak, because we are not.
Riofrio recorded and posted the video to Twitter. It has over 2 million views and thousands of replies. Elizabeth Ronson tweeting, "I'm so sorry you went through this. I'm so sorry so many Spanish speakers go through this."
Some people tweeted me like, "You shouldn't be speaking Spanish. It's annoying to hear. I'm Mexican and I don't do that." Like, you shouldn't do that. You should be proud of where you come from.
After less than a minute of arguing, you can hear an employee ask the man to leave.
We ain't gonna have all that. It's already 2 people.
You're gonna leave! A lot of people say that, are you okay? Like, are you afraid? But I'm not actually. Like, I'm never gonna stop speaking Spanish in front of white people. Like, I feel proud of where I come from, so.